Hey everyone, so in today's video I wanted to discuss if we could ever get a Shaolin Monks 2. So there's been a lot of rumours around what NetherRealm's next game could be, especially with MK1 not being confirmed, but a lot of people believe that after the T1000 comes out, the game will be done and it is basically cancelled because Chaos Reigns sold really poorly. So what could be their next game? I've discussed in previous videos that I think it should be like a remaster of the older games, but if that isn't the case, I would love to see a Shaolin Monks 2. So let's discuss how that could actually work in this video. I do hope you enjoy. Consider subscribing for more Mortal Kombat videos, and let's get into the topic at hand. So Shaolin Monks, for those who don't know, which I assume most of you do, if you're watching this, you're probably a fan of MK, but Shaolin Monks was like a spin-off game where it's like a beat 'em up game. Instead of just regular Mortal Kombat, which is, looks like this, it looked like this. Like you could actually move around in a world, and you played as Kung Lao and Liu Kang. And you could unlock Scorpion and Sub-Zero, I believe, if you actually beat the game. So this game is pretty beloved by most of the fans. Unfortunately, I haven't actually been able to play it because it's only available on the PS2, like that era of console, so I unfortunately haven't been able to play it yet, but a lot of people really love this game, and from what I've seen, I feel like it looks pretty fun, and I feel like it'd be a really fun experience. And of course it does allow for 2 players, so you can play through this with a friend, which is something a lot of games are doing now, but it was doing it all the way back then, and I believe it was like 2004 or 5 or something, which is pretty crazy to think about. But again, a really fun experience, and not necessarily recently, it's been a few years, but it has been confirmed that they were actually working on a sequel to it called Fire and Ice, which of course would be Scorpion and Sub-Zero that we get to play as. But unfortunately it got cancelled, although we can see some artwork that had been actually shared through Twitter showing off like some of the designs, like the level designs from the game, but unfortunately, as I said, it got cancelled. But it is a project that a lot of fans really want to see, because I think some people are sort of just sick of just the regular fighting game style of Mortal Kombat, which might not really make sense because, I mean, it's a fighting game, of course, it's always going to be like that, but people want to see a new type of adventure game. Conquest from Deception is really popular because people really appreciated being able to explore a whole sort of like a new world, really, that you could run around and explore. Because the stages in Mortal Kombat, especially in like Mortal Kombat 1 and 11, they're really detailed, and like I think a lot of us want to be able to explore in the area, which you kind of can through invasions, but it just doesn't feel the same. I think a lot of us want like a brand new mode where we can do that, and I feel like a full game even could be the closest you get to do that. So you'd be able to play as Scorpion and Sub-Zero, and they have sort of teased this like in MK11 in Chapter 4, for their joint chapter. It's called Fire and Ice, and there are a lot of little like hints throughout the games about the game itself, and I mean, it's pretty apparent that the fans want to see this. Even if Scorpion and Sub-Zero aren't your favorite characters, I'm sure they would include other characters like Liu Kang and Kung Lao. Maybe you get to play as them if you beat the story, as like a little reverse on the original game. Maybe you can unlock Kitana and Mileena, play as them. Like, I'm sure there'd be a bunch of options in the game as to who you could play as, but they would be the main 2. And keep in mind, it'd be a modding game, so you could potentially customize the characters, make them look different from everyone else's. I feel like that would be a really cool addition. I'm curious what you guys think. Like, would you guys want to see this personally? As a lot of you do know, Sub-Zero is my favorite character, so I would love to see a game where he's front and center, getting to play a different style of Mortal Kombat, not just regular Mortal Kombat, which, look, I love the series and I love fighting games overall, but I think it'd be a really cool addition to, if it isn't an entirely new game, at least in the next installment in the franchise, if it isn't this, having some type of mode where you can run around as any character that you want and just explore the world, like Invasions, but not like Invasions in the sense that you can run around the map, but not in the sense that it's a bunch of fights. Like, you can just explore things, unlock things, like a mix of Invasions minus the fights, of course, with like the Crypt, for instance, and like a bit of Conquest. Like, it'd be a really fun thing to do, but I think having an entirely new game about Sub-Zero and Scorpion, Fire and Ice, would definitely be a cool addition, in my opinion. I think that should be their next game, if it isn't a remaster of some of the older games, because I think people are getting sort of sick of Mortal Kombat, especially because a lot of people don't love MK1. Personally, I actually do like MK1 quite a bit, although it definitely does have issues. I know a lot of people are sick of that and they sort of want to go back to the older games. There's a lot of people playing MK11 and X now instead of MK1, so I think it'd be a really fun thing for them to do, to actually make this new game that they've basically been working on for ages. But I believe there was a few instances where they were working on it and it just kept getting cancelled and they could never actually do it. So I would love to see them actually be able to release it. But let me know what you guys think. Do you think there's a good chance it'll come out? I really am interested, but I would love to see like a spin-off game with these two characters. I think it would sell really, really well. But I hope you enjoyed the video, everyone. Consider subscribing if you're a big fan of Sub-Zero and Scorpion and Mortal Kombat as a whole. Thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.